Really. What is time anyway? Yes. I don't know. Can I play the game? Is there anything about yourself that you haven't told me? Oh? Help. Okay. Will you come back to visit me? Well, sure I will. Okay, I think we're done. I think the game itself is becoming sentient. It's kind of creeping me out. And we're back to the Stanley Parable 2. Is it cold? Yeah, it's kind of cold. It's been a temperature roller coaster as of late. As far as degrees in Fahrenheit, it's just been bouncing between like 40 to 50 difference there all the time. It's crazy. I'll say this much. Me, in general, I am physically cold most of the time. I am somebody who, when most people are saying, you know, man, it's kind of hot today, I'm like, I don't know, it's pretty comfortable to me. Yeah, I'm weird. And that's partially my physicality, I think. I'm a little scrawny. And it's just natural. It's not like, you know, it's like I have a pretty healthy appetite. But look at this wrist. Look at that wrist. That is thin. It's just that way. I can fit my hand around it. I don't know. Anyway, enough about me. Thank you for letting me know that Overwatch 2's update was installed. I appreciate that, PlayStation. I don't know about wearing a sweater in the middle of July, but I'll probably be wearing pants and a t-shirt. Whereas other people would be wearing shorts and the thinnest shirt they can find. But yeah, I mean, I like being warm. I like feeling warm, you know? And my body just does not like the cold. It just doesn't.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple.
Hello,
he sat at his
Mom.
desk
Welcome.
in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them,
No problem.
and in what order. This is what
I hope
employee
it was
427
pleasant.
did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been...
Okay, we've seen that a million times. Alright. Onward. Ow. Ooh. Alright. Alright, I was thinking... Thank you. I was thinking from last time what I was going to do in this playthrough. So, yeah.
All of his co-workers were gone.
A little bit of
What
lag
could
here.
it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't
my
find a
game
trace
dropping?
of his co-worker.
It's weird. Let me think. Right, I was trying to find the last figurines, collectibles. Alright. Which I think I know where they are. Where is that computer? Alright. Yeah, let's go for it. There's too much for your computer. Nice. Well, everybody, I hope you've been having a good week. Mine's been alright. Can't really complain. Yeah, I don't know what position to put my leg slash foot in to be comfortable. I'm just gonna have to hope that I feel better tomorrow. Alright,
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
no he didn't.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Bloop, 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 bloop. So just to throw in a little bit of gaming news, so for PlayStation Plus members, that's weird. It's like my phone heard me say PlayStation. I just got a notification from the PlayStation Store. That's weird. Oh, it's advertising Destiny 2. I guess that's weird. There's some kind of free event going on. Anyway, what was I saying? Shoot. Oh yeah, they so PlayStation Plus put in The Legend of Dragoon into their library or something for people to play, and apparently people have been having problems with it.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring.
Like there's
It had really been worth the detour after all,
game
just to spend a
bugs.
few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
that are causing people to, not be able to enjoy the game. So that's kind of sad. Hope they get that fixed.
Yes, really,
Shush.
really. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
You mean this door? You mean this door? Oh, those are closed. Haha. Hey, guess what? The door's closed now. Technically, it's not the first open door on the left. Cheating the system.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Alright, so. Somewhere in here, there should be a figurine. Question is, where? Oh, was this here before? I don't remember it being here. Okay, let's go get that figurine. Oh, there's a ventilation duct. This is all new to me. I've never gone this way before. Never got a good look at the loading docks.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Figure and okay, cool. Yeah, one more. There's balloons in here. Gosh, the balloons are insidious. Tell you what, man. Anyway. Yeah. Figurines. Oh boy. Fall into the ventilation shaft. Into a loading screen. No! Oh my gosh, where am I? Oh.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path.
Oh my gosh, they're all labeled narrator dialogue.
So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun.
Oh my gosh.
So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording? It was all just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory. I bet each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights. How much more exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
What? How is it my fault? And now where am I being taken to? Narrator is so sensitive. We're back at the beginning. What the heck, dude? You gotta be kidding me. Well, we discovered another ending. Yay, I guess.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Yeah.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Where is that computer? There it is. I'm still wondering about that computer that says awaiting
No
user
matter
input.
how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Alright, I know where the last figurine is. Figurinerino. Figuranarines, or whatever they are.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Oh boy. Once again, tricky. What open door?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
All right. So is that thing still? Yeah, okay, it is. I figured they just put it there for the collectible, but I guess not. Anyway.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
I can't close the door. Oh my gosh. Alrighty. Let's see. Gotta find that last figurino. Oh, no, it says no buckets past this point. You know what I ought to do? I ought to try to take the bucket past this point. Next time.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
There it is, you guys. The last one. Here we go.
And there it is, the last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Yay. Well, there you go. Jeez, whoever was in here was smoking a lot. Well, there you go. Okay, cool. Now, I've gone through the blue door before, but I've never gone through the red door.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now.
Hey.
Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped.
I'm in an endless
And
loop.
I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Oh, here we go. Oh, hello. Well, that's ominous. Oh, here we go. Whee!
What do we want? What are we looking for?
I don't know, narrator. What is happening?
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
I don't know if I got the baby thing. Maybe. Ooh, it's pretty. Very blurry, but pretty. I remember there was a baby, and the idea was you were trying to not get the baby. Oh my gosh! Colors. You were trying to not get the baby on fire, but then it was like you had no choice. Wow. Can I step off this thing, or is it? No, I can't. Yeah, I think I did get the, I think I did get that game with the baby. There's just like a cardboard cut out of a baby and you're trying to prevent it from going into the fire. Yeah. Ooh, so pretty. I mean, it is kind of nice to just sit here and watch this for a while. The stars in the back. Just different colors. But, Whoa. Trippy. Well, I think it's just going to keep doing that for a while, it looks like. Got reds and oranges and pinks. Oh gosh. Kind of hurts to look at that. Okay. Yeah, I think it's just going to keep doing that. So, all right, I'm done.
No, wait. Where are you going?
Uh-oh. The section contains suicidal themes. Okay, audience, you have been warned. If you are not okay with suicidal themes, then don't watch, I guess. Or if it's really that bad, I can just hold X. And...
Oh no, stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Isn't that the point of a... Isn't that what always happens in video games? You die and then you respawn? I mean, that's not really...
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Yeah, I mean... Literally, I think there was a trophy in Portal 2.
Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Well, guess we can kind of say, oops, I tripped.
No! Oh, thank God you lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good one. Is what's in the other room the same? There's a little drawing. Oh. Huh, wonder how that got there. Can I interact with it? Guess not. Oh, shoot. Still some crazy stuff going on in here.
There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
Look, narrator, I don't doubt you. I mean, this is very pretty and everything, but... like, I can't stay here forever, dude. It's not how this works.
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this. No. No, no, what are you doing? Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
Yeah, exactly. Gonna die of starvation if you stay there. Whee. Ow.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? Yes, perhaps you can.
Is it just
Perhaps
me?
you finally see what I'm talking about.
Or is my walking speed getting slower every time I do that?
I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
Narrator, I think you're getting a little obsessive here. Okay, yeah, they let me walk off the staircase, but I can't walk off of this thing. Okay. Is this thing gonna change display again, or is it just gonna keep doing this?
No, perhaps not.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly?
No. I can't stay in there forever, dude. Alright, here we go. Here we go again. Oops, I tripped. Oh, there we go.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
You're just making me sad. Okay, what happens if I walk back to the place?
Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
Still making the same colors and pops. Yeah.
I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did. I still thought that was possible.
That has me wondering, what if you did stay in there? Would the game eventually just, I don't know, would the narrator speak up, or would the game just restart again? I don't know. Yeah, I'm walking super slow now. Every time I walk up those stairs and jump off, my legs get broken more. Alright, here we go. Yeah, no exit. Hey, look at that one tile on the ceiling. Ah!
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it?
Man, that is
I'm
dark.
going back.
Jeez, that just makes you feel bad. I don't want to upset the narrator, but gosh. But video games do that sometimes. They're like, yeah, we're going to force you into this situation where you're going to feel bad about your choice, but oh well. Wait a minute, why isn't their narrator saying anything? Oh no. What?
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines. Those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
Okay. Sure, buddy. Now remembering when Stanley found the collectibles. Oh boy. The memory zone. Zone, sweet zone. First kiss. My first card, the release of the Stanley Parable in 2013. Independent Games Festival Audience Award, Stanley Parable. Oh yeah.
Here's where it all began.
I remember this.
The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Can you find them? Wait, what's that over there? Oh, now I can't go back. Oh, shoot. Oh well.
And here was a second Stanley. I'll be honest, back then I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways.
Alright. Can I collect, like, can I pick it up again? So I could have picked up that other one. Oh well. Nice, nice.
Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
I think it was the bathroom.
Hey, that's exactly right. It was here in the boss's bathroom. It was the third one. You picked it up, and then after that, you had 3 of them. I'm glad these moments are so crystal clear in your memory, but I shouldn't be surprised. After all, science tells us that it's impossible to forget your third time doing anything.
So if I had walked the other way, man,
Let's see,
would I have
what
looked
came
bad.
next?
What? This isn't right. I've never been here before.
Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
Of course, sure, why not? This is so weird.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly.
Yep.
In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
Wow. Yeah. Jeez, that's like watching an early YouTube video.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Alright. Can I walk off of here? No. It's a memory, so I can only go one direction. Nope.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Yoink. I feel bad for missing that other one where it was first revisiting them. I could have picked up that first one, but I didn't. Oh well. Oh boy, what's this?
And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, Memory Zone.
All right, sure.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the Memory Zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
Okay. Sure. I won't argue with you.
Okay, yes. The room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the Memory Zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
Yeah, it's still counting up. Jeez.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Yes, I do remember the video we watched. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yep, that was the video.
I love that video.
Jeez, dude. Narrator is a little obsessive.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this one. Good room, though. A solid room.
So weird.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
What happens if I go this way? Oh, there's nothing there. Yeah, nothing there. Oh boy.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember?
Yes.
I remember it too. The
yeah.
past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going.
Yep, I'm going.
This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the Figlarines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
I don't know, narrator. Oh, collect them all. Can you find them? Now I'm back here. Yep. There's the big Stanley statue. Jeez, dude.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories.
There's no satisfying this guy. He wants more memories.
Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
Oh, they both... Okay.
And before everything else, there was your office.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything else? Was
Nope.
there something that came before your office?
There's nothing else.
There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
Messing with the sliders, is that what you're going to make me do?
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy, and I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions, he would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
What? Okay. I'm so confused. So is this my final playthrough or what?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Right. Oh, there's the awaiting input computer. Keep doing that every time. Alright, this time, taking the bucket with me.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room?
Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Because there's supposed to be an indent.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact.
Still gonna do the
He was
thing.
firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Alright, where's that sign that says no buckets past this point? Here we go.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, no buckets past this point. Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket?
Oh, wait.
I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Okay. Oh dear. What are they gonna do to me? Oh my.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket.
There's way too
Okay,
much
let's begin.
depth to this game.
Item 1. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket?
Can I get a closer look at it?
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not
It's
an
still
actual
a
bucket.
bucket, dang it.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Well, at least the lighting matches our logo at the top.
Correct. This is a bucket.
Son of a...
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
I swear, narrator, if you're gonna come up with some logical reason as to why this is a bucket, see what happens.
Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket.
Well, good.
To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one. Is this a bucket?
What? And there's no audience. Like, there's nobody here.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
What?
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
What does that even mean?
Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. Should be around here somewhere.
Hello? Narrator? Jeez.
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless, is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket?
No.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all
That
sense
makes
of
two of us.
perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Maybe.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay,
What?
here we go. What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets.
Wow.
Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay?
Okay.
And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Okay, here we go. This game. It's like, how? How is there so much going on here? Just...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Alright,
Stanley
where's that
decided to
computer?
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I don't know, where is that computer? Computer that always says awaiting input. There's the computer with the solitaire game on it. Oh my goodness.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
That needs to be a t-shirt. Everything is a bucket. I wouldn't doubt that that already is a t-shirt, so we're gonna find out. Huh. What do you know? I don't think there is a t-shirt that says that. I mean, you could make one. There's a t-shirt that says, I'm a bucket. Oh, no, wait. It says 5 reasons I'm a bucket.
Stanley just stood there doing nothing at all. He seems to think I have nothing better to do with my time than to sit around and describe every fascinating little detail of his inability to do anything. This is why Stanley and I are on such good terms.
Well, there is a t-shirt that has a picture of a bucket, and then above it it says, is this a bucket? So I guess that kind of has something to do with it. Is this a bucket? Yeah, and it's Stanley Parable. Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. So they do have t-shirts that, like, there's one that says, is this a bucket? And it has, like, the purple logo with the blue outline and all that. There's a t-shirt with a pedestal that has a bucket on top of it. There's even a t-shirt with a blue door and a red door. Is this a bucket? Wow. But yeah, I'd like to see a t-shirt that says everything is a bucket. That'd be fantastic. Everything is a bucket. Let's put that in quotations, see if we get something better here. Oh, okay. Just comes up with Stanley Parable stuff. Anyway, tried going right and then taking the first left door. I believe so, but I feel like I had the bucket in hand when I did that.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Do you mean like the first left door? Like the first left door? Because the first left door would be this door, which is locked. Am I being too literal? I tend to do that. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
So yes, I have done that.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
And then take the elevator down. Because, yeah, I think that literally does lead you to the meeting room. Honestly, I'm having trouble remembering what's at the bottom of this thing, so let's go! Yeah, there's so many different endings, it's hard to remember which goes where and all that. So.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left. Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Okay, I do kind of remember this.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Okay. Oh, yep.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
Okay.
Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the
feel like
beginning.
I did this
and
with
this
the bucket,
time,
but I...
suppose we don't wander so far off track, hmm? Okay, from the top.
Is this the path that introduces this... the, adventure line?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Because I think now that I go into that room with the door on the left and the right, I think it's going to be different.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Okay, yeah, I do remember this. Yeah, so... Okay, well... Yeah, we'll start over. Okay, good call. Yeah, and then I just remember wandering through different hallways and stuff. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
Never alone when you have a bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room. But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
It's kind of amusing rushing the narrator through everything.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Shoot, yep. I have been down here before. Okay, so I have been down here with the bucket as well.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much.
Yeah, I remember this.
It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley
but last
Parable.
time
It's
I didn't...
just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and
Last
the Broom
time I
Closet.
didn't destroy
Because
the
that's
bucket.
what fans want from a sequel.
This
They
time
want
I will.
more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
All right, before I continue with that, I'm gonna go grab a fresh controller before this one dies. So I'll be back in just a moment. Yeah. Okay. Back in business. Alright, let's go.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Oh, here we go. Unplug the phone. I have not. I don't even know how to do that.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Okay, see, I haven't even gotten to that part of the game. I don't even know where you're supposed to call your wife at. That's new to me.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new
If you want to help me
character.
toward that ending
This
text, I'd
is
appreciate
the
it.
Bucket
'cause-
Destroyer.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
Bye, Bucket. It's been nice knowing you.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular
let me
personality
destroy it.
trait. Sure, I can hear you
So
saying, how does a character
happened
with
last
only
time
one
is-
personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer
pressing the button.
merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get
Wait.
back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure
Just
Line
shut
or
down
the
the
Bucket
application
Destroyer
last time.
until you
Oh,
crush
crap.
that damn bucket.
I'm
Quickly
trying.
now.
I
The
can't
fans
do
are
it.
waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give
won't
the
let
fans
me.
what they want. Hurry and...
Alright, is it gonna break the game again? Oh gosh, that's that bright white screen.
The Bucket Destroyer. My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Come on, you can do it this time. Come on, PlayStation. Okay. Hey, the bucket's right there. Oh, that's weird.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ah, okay, see?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I've never actually ridden the cargo lift all the way up. I've always dropped off and gone to where those doors were. All that stuff. So that's
The
that
lounge was
explain it.
grand, majestic.
Perhaps too, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, cool, cool.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I
Really, I'm
realize that
not.
investing your
Well,
trust
the way
in
he says
someone
that.
else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten
See, I
about.
thought the narrator was talking
Please,
about himself.
stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Yep, never heard that line before. I had no idea because I never got
This
this
is
far.
it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself.
Oh my
to put
goodness.
your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
All right then. Yeah.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Okie dokie. Didn't expect a white screen.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your
Oh,
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come
jerk.
inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
well,
This is a
that's-
very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Uh-oh. Good morning, employee 427. Press triangle on your controller. Okay. It's quite a small apartment.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's
Why is
going
there a
home.
cubicle
Now he's
thing
coming
in
back
here?
to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Trying to press other buttons. Oh,
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
what boys?
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Just take a seat here.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Press up to tell your wife you love her.
But there is no answer.
Oh.
How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Now that's not fair. You're gonna force me to press that button to continue. I can pause the game? Yeah, you literally have no choice. That's... Huzzah!
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
What?
And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
That's freaky.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Yeesh. Where's that computer? Oh.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright, so now I'll try unplugging the phone, I guess.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. And here it was, the lounge. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself.
I know the truth.
Now, I'm not asking for me. I'm asking for... This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her.
If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone?
Yep.
No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly? I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check.
There's the papers again.
No, it's definitely here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world.
Oh boy.
Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Okay.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Rupert has a choice. He could invent a machine that eliminates food shortages across the world to make life better for all people. Or he could spend years of hard work forgetting how to read. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack." Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Welcome back.
Whoa.
You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Okay.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying.
was gonna say,
Imagine
this
the
fence
main
wasn't here
character
before.
dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
All right then. Yeah, there's no way I can walk off the ledge. All right. How far are we going here?
almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
Uh-huh.
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Well, you're still giving me a choice. Ah, jeez. So what do I do? Do I take the left door or the right door? Oops, sorry. Do I go with the story, or do I keep breaking the rules? Does it matter? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, let's go on the right.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Oh geez, oh gosh, this place is falling apart. Oh my goodness. Yikes. Whoops. Yeah. Well, I guess we're on left. Okay, so far so good. Oh, oh no.
Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe, after everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever, reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Uh-oh.
I'm still here in this pile of rubbish, with you who thought you were so clever.
Me.
Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard to make... behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back.
Oh no.
Behave exactly as Stanley would.
That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine.
No, I think
All right.
I think it's a loop.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his
Not
left.
gonna allow me to continue until I go through the door on the left the first time around. Well, maybe. I don't know. Now he's not talking. Oh gosh, look at that chair. Oh, jeez.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing
I think you
responsibly
have to go to
and
the
always
left.
putting
I'll
the
try it
story
one more time
first.
and-
I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task.
Does the
Just
same
follow
thing,
my
then I'll
lead
go
and
to
you'll
the
be
left.
fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I can just imagine the narrator just with his hand on a button, ready to reset the game if I screw it up. Oh my goodness. Okay, now I come back here and he's gonna go, no!
No! Why did you
did you
do
do
that? Quickly, hurry back.
Yeah.
Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly
So
and
yes, I
always
have to go
putting
to
the
the left.
story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, here we go. Oh, see, everything's fine.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Okay, yeah, we're back
Feeling
in
a wave
business.
of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
What is hot? Profits. Alright, anyway. Yeah, let's keep going. There's the broom closet.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's
They
office.
won't even let me go downstairs now. Wow, yeah. The narrator is railroading me now. He's like, no, we're staying on track. There's no way you can do anything else. Well, let me go into the executive bathroom. Ooh. Okay, that's new.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath and then spoke the code.
Is that like a real thing? Because I don't have a microphone.
Stanley spoke the code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it into the receiver, right there on the wall.
I can't.
I'm sorry, is there a problem?
Yes.
You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise, we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
But I'm a mute character. I can't.
Okay, fine. You're not going to do it. But you know what? It's pretty humiliating to bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say something to me. Explain yourself, you coward. You... When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his
What?
left.
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice. I need you to walk through the door.
Stanley Parable.
Are you listening to me? Can you hear me? Is everything all right?
Was that the
Stanley,
true
this
ending?
is important. The story needs you. It needs you to make a decision. It cannot exist without you. Do you understand me? Whatever choice you make is just fine. They're both correct. You cannot be wrong here. We can work together. I'll accept whatever you do. I simply need you to take that step forward, please.
I mean, I figured it would start over again, but...
Do something. Anything. This is more important than you can ever know. I need this. The story needs it. So, you hear me? Are you there? Are you listening to this? Stanley, are you there? Okay. It's okay, I can wait. You need time to decide. Time to make sure your choice is correct. That is the best choice. That's all.
Sorry,
right.
Leroy.
I'll wait for you to decide what's the right thing to do. Take as much time as you need.
Jeez. Okay. Just one full bucket. Let's see here. Think of other endings. Take the bucket up to the boss's office. Start to walk in the door, but keep backing out. Haven't tried that before. Well, before I continue, I'm going to take a quick little break, just a short little break, and then I'll get back to it. So, gotta get some more water. My glass is empty. So I'll be back in just a few minutes. I'll see y'all soon. Yeah, pause. like I said, it's gonna be a short break. I'm back already. Oh boy. Alright, so take the bucket up to the boss's office.
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together.
How come they shortened the path? Now they're just putting you right at the left and right doors. Whereas before you actually had a little couple of office environments.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Which I did.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
So start to walk in the door, but keep backing out. What's up with this door? Nothing. Ooh. Oh. I'm in the room, I'm out of the room. Hey, what have we here?
Stepping in.
Oh, was that supposed to happen? Uh-oh. Now I've done it. Oh, okay, I see. I see what you mean. Alright, let's go. What did I just do? No, I'm not doing the broom closet thing again. I didn't glitch the game, did I? Oh. Hey, there's the new content sign. I haven't seen that in a while. Oh, the door won't open either. Oh my. What have I done? What? That door's never been opened before. Oh, snap, dude. Alright, let's do this. You are now leaving. Leaving what? Escape pod bay, floor 760. What? Oh. Okay, no. Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh, wow. Okay. This is interesting. That's weird. It looks just like where I was. Oh my gosh. What's happening? Looks the same every time. Oh my. Dude, this is weird. It's like every floor a different instance of Stanley going through the whole shebang every time. Also, can this be done without the bucket? Holy crap. Escape pod, launch bay. Well, this is it, I guess. Escape. Oh, it's very dark in here. The bucket, it's much better. Oh, okay, well, I'll have to try it without the bucket sometime. What? Oh my gosh. Is he really just gonna send the bucket? Oh my gosh. Are you freaking kidding me? Wow. Jeez. Couple other endings you can get by breaking boundaries. I can imagine. Like, it almost seems like there are infinite endings.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I've never gotten this far with the input received computers. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, that's another one done. Okay. Cool. Well, okay. Well, I want to see what happens when I do that. What I just did without the bucket. I know it's probably not as exciting, but I'm curious.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
You can? Oh my gosh. This game. I'll have to try that too. It's like the never-ending
Yet
list
there was
of,
not a single person here either.
endings I have to
Feeling a
try.
wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I would like to do is see if I can, if anything different happens when I go into that elevator with the bucket, because I haven't tried that. But, so that'll be another time too. Come on. Boy. Gotta get this right.
Stepping in.
There it is. Control room, you can climb up on the first desk with the switch and fall down to the bottom of the mind control facility. What? Dang. Oh my gosh. There's so many freaking options. This is crazy. Well, clearly, Doc, you have played this game many times. Actually jumped down. It was a bug in the original game, so I've left it in and turned that into an ending. Oh my gosh. Why not, man? I mean, with a game like this, it's like, we can do that? Well, I guess that's in the game now. Hey, jeez. Okay, it still says input received. Good. You just watched it so much. Oh, okay. Nice, nice. Hey, why not? You can sit back, eat some popcorn or something, and just watch other people play the game. And more after I saw you first play it. Nice. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad I could help continue your interest in this game. I think that's the right way of saying it. I'll probably be starting up a different game next week, and it's probably going to be pretty chill. Although this game has, this game is in itself chill at times because, there's a lot of just walking around, nothing's happening, there's no music. Kind of like right now, but it's the, narrator interactions, for the most part, that really do it. Alright, now I gotta know what happens when Stanley gets to the escape pod by himself. Does he get into the escape pod, and then is that it? Does he just leave? Where is the escape pod going to? There it is. Well, cool. I do appreciate that. Hey, whatever makes things more fun, Wait, did I just get to the escape pod and is that it? Is it just gonna start me over? Well, that's anticlimactic, jeez. Oh my gosh! Okay, this has me excited. I don't know if anything cool is gonna happen or not, but I've never gotten this far with the awaiting input thing. Alright, let's do this. Here we go. Oh, ooh. Why do they have to? Oh my gosh. Welcome, Stanley, to heaven. Okay. I don't know if I like this. Oh, there's buttons everywhere. Is this heaven for Stanley, just pushing buttons? I think that's the whole thing here, is that Stanley's version of heaven is just being able to press buttons. Oh gosh, and the buttons reset! Oh no! I don't know. To me, this is not heaven. Because unless... Oh, jeez. Unless something actually happens from pressing on the buttons. Plus, it just keeps playing this creepy music on repeat. Can't even call it Gregorian chant. Yeah, the button's just reset. It's never ending. Maybe if I press all the red buttons. Why? Is there... Jeez. Is there any escape to this? Make it stop. Oh. I don't doubt that I have to restart it, but it's like... I don't think I've come to an ending so far where I actually have to restart. Well... I don't know. But yeah, it's just never-ending buttons. For all eternity, pressing buttons. Ah! So if you're someone who likes to press buttons, this is it. And then just restart over. Okay, yeah, that's enough of that. Well, now I know what happens when you do all the inputs for the computers. Jeez, I had a feeling that's administrative assistant's desk had to do something. Oh no! Now I can press this anytime I want and be sent to heaven? No thanks. Once was enough. Okay, so let's see, what else do we have here? Can climb up to 434 and jump out the window. Alright. Where is 4?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
It's 413.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay, well let me see if I
Coming
can
to a
back
staircase,
out again.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Control desk. Oh, that's a good point. Okay, yeah. Okay, I will try that then. I gotta do the elevator, I'm sorry. I just enjoy this music so much. I don't know why. I just like elevator music. I don't know why. Okay. Alright, just had to get that out of my system. Alright, let's go.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number, 2845.
Why do I always think
But
it's
of course,
4? I don't...
Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2845?
Yet incredibly, by simply
This shows how
pushing
good my
random
memory
buttons
is.
on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
But yeah, that was actually when on my first playthrough. That was one of the first things I did was decided to go up the elevator, and that was partially because Choice there in the chat was like, "Go back up the elevator." I'm like, okay, and then go back down. All right, do it again, until I got that ending with the press conference. Yeah, you admit to nothing. Yeah, that was actually, that made me laugh a lot. It's just because of like how condescending and the narrator was being.
Descending
"Oh,
deeper
that's so
into the
brilliant,
building,
Stanley. You
realized
decided to go
he
back
felt
up
a
the
bit
elevator."
peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Excuse me.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Now, is it this desk or is it... Oh.
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Welcome!
Nobody wants more elevator
You see,
music?
back when the Stanley Parable first
not opposed
launched
to
in
that.
2013, getting to the bottom of the Mind Control Facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And
Oh,
you
wow.
all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours, so here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game, with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are. We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it. Good job. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. But railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job, you did it.
Well, there you go. That is okay. Wow. Because why not? You know. And we're back. Okay, now we can. All right, now I think we can try out that other ending. I'm scared to touch this computer now because I know what it's gonna do. Or
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
What the heck? Okay, so let's see, whose desk was it? 434. Jump out the window. Ah, I see. Let's see. Yep, there we go.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be?
Sure.
Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just restart the game any old time you want, like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain.
Oops.
There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable, and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. You too will become quite unbearable.
Okay. I have a feeling this is just going to continue. No, it's just gonna keep going. Forget it. Forget it.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Okay.
What could it mean?
So
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
oh, you can't do it with the bucket. Interesting. A bright light. Yeah, you're telling me, dude. Yeah, this monitor I'm looking at, man, the whites are white and yeah. Oh gosh. Now, let's see here. Alright, I'm gonna go to the mind control facility and I'm gonna go on top of that desk with the bucket.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
So, everything's going to be...
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where... Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
All right. So I have gone down the stairs with the bucket, but I haven't done it without the bucket, so I'll have to try that too. Oh, it is... Yes! Okay, bucket, let's go. You and me, bucket, elevator. Yes, they are with... He's whispering Stanley. Yeah, he does Stanley twice, and then he does the 2, 3, 4, and then what you just heard. That. Yeah, it's just the narrator just being goofy. Did he say something about the maracas? Never heard that part before. I'm getting bored now. Probably. I'm not sure if I've sat here long enough to. I don't know when the end to the song is.
Nothing but mellotron.
Still going. started over yet. That's the crazy thing. I was really getting into it. Okay, now I think it started over. Yeah, it started over. Alright, let's get out of here. Jeez, dude. That's so ridiculous. Alright.
Stepping into his manager's office,
All right,
Stanley was
it's
once again
2
stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
2.
Crushed by the
8,
weight of this
4,
revelation,
5?
Stanley may have broken, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
It gets in your head after a while.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate.
It's
It
honestly
would be all
not
Stanley
a bad
could do
song
to keep
to have
himself
stuck in your
together,
head,
if
really.
not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Let's press the button first this time.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves.
Oh, I guess it's just okay. Yeah. Whee! With the bucket.
But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall.
Of course.
Now, what to do next, Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here, a bit cold.
Where'd they get the
perhaps.
couch?
After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis.
You gotta be kidding me.
But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it
my
really started
gosh.
to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even
Like how
thought
the
of the
TV
mind
shows
control
the
facility
game
at all.
ending, basically.
He'd never gotten to fully
the
explore what was up
mind
there,
control
never
facility.
been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was unconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending.
but it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time.
It's gonna start over. Yep. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, this time... Where's the bucket? Wait a minute. How far did...
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket. Stanley clung the bucket to his cheek.
Yes.
Could his co-workers really all be gone?
Alright, here we go. Sorry for the brightness. Can I answer the phone with the bucket? Oh, right. Yeah, that's true.
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear.
We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
The bucket began to tell
Okay.
Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps, if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
Said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like... My God, Stanley,
Oh!
you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it.
What the heck was that? Okay, that was one of the better endings. It was ridiculous. Okay. Because, yeah, I wasn't sure if you could take the bucket over there, and I was like, oh, the door's still open. All right, let me backtrack. What the heck, dude?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Alright, now I'm gonna go down the stairs from the
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on
boss's
his left.
office. And yeah. Woody from Toy Story. You are a toy.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
So
Feeling a
stupid.
wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, no collectibles this time, right?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Okay, there you go. That's that one. Oh boy.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Well, it still
Stanley
says-
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Turning all of them off. Okay, I guess we're doing the, let's see. Or I guess we're going up the lift, seeing the wife, and bringing the bucket along with us. Here we go, bucket.
The embrace of an old friend, a weathered companionship that stands the test of time. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Just like closing that door as I go.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Okay, here we go.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home where we can go about life together.
Dang, white screen.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket. Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Alright. Oh, wow. This is like an actual apartment, unlike the other thing where it's like, haha, it's all fake. I like Hello, bucket. Hello, Stanley. It's me, your bucket. Press that to take me to work with you. Okay, bucket.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
There's the bucket. Press circle to take me back home with you. What happens if you get up on the disc this time? Can you? I don't... Nah, it actually prevents you from doing it. Okay. If his wife now has bucket over her head. That would be funny. Okay, I guess I'm going back home with him.
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Oh, here's the bucket. Press that to go back to work.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man. Press up for us to go back home.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Press triangle to ignore anyone in your life except for me. Jeez, dude. Not like I had much of a choice.
It's sad, but I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press circle to go back home.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Press down to relive the same day with me over and over. Oh gosh.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Press circle to go home to work to home to work to home.
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket.
Oh,
No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with
no.
the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
Oh jeez. Oh no.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I need it. Give it to me now. Give it or I'll...
Go back to work, Stanley. Oh boy. Oh, we're back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, now I want to see if Stockholm Syndrome, anyone? Well, yeah, in a way, that's kind of what it is. Although you're not technically being held against your will, but the bucket is Stanley's security blanket, and bucket home syndrome. Now I want to try the same thing, except I want to unplug the cord from the phone.
The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker.
After that,
In
I'm kind of
time,
running
perhaps,
out of ideas.
He would become both of those things. Stanley
Might be
clutched the bucket tightly to his
one
chest
thing I haven't
and
tried.
entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but
Okay,
Stanley
two
had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good,
Said the bucket.
now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Okay, yeah.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke.
Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket.
Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here.
Of course.
Let's take a look.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
I'm Dunny with the funny. Okay.
good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, with each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence and to very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
What?
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
What? Okay. They're gonna keep me on the... just out of curiosity.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley. The bucket spoke? The bucket spoke? Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
Oh wow, we really are backtracking. Jeez. Okay, here we are.
Here we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Oh. Okay.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There were supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point. A dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake.
No, it doesn't.
I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again.
As long as I don't have to watch it
Surely
again.
that will help me improve my... Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Is he gonna do it again?
What? We're back at the phone already? No.
Okay, they want me to go
Here we
on
go.
the left. Okay,
You ready?
I got it.
When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left. No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley.
Sorry.
I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes.
There it is.
Wait, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal. I think I saw it playing guitar.
Oh my gosh.
No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is.
Yes, I'm sure that'll
That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
Wow. All right. Let's go. Nice.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his...
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
A Russian narrator.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
All right. Now what's going to happen? All the tapes. Oh, I didn't notice this before. Lost cat. There is a reward. Gene. Okay. Tapes, and more tapes. Hello?
Okay, this is day number 295, tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket,
Oh, jeez.
the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes. It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket.
It's a bucket.
This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
Whoa. Okay. That was creepy. Jeez, man. Well, there's another ending. Okay. Jeez Louise, dude.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it.
What?
If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
What? Quit to the main menu? Okay. The hallway is definitely creepy still. I know, right? Turn it into a true horror game. Alright, skip. Okay, everything's back the way it was.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh. Was something different supposed to happen? Oh, does it change the main menu screen? Well, there is one thing.
It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded onward.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Yes, I did.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Here we go now. So, I haven't done the ending where I have the bucket and I choose to activate the mind control facility instead of shutting it off. So let's try that. See what happens.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
We're just gonna rush this as much as I can.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Alright, see what happens.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen.
What?
Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Okay, this is different.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Sure, everything's great. What? Oh, so weird. What? Where am I?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Oh.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
This is...
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single
Going for the
difference.
whiteboard.
Nor did it advance the story in any way.
Dog mode. What? I can turn on dog mode apparently. I guess we're turning on dog mode. Why not? I don't know. Now everything I interact, every time I press the X button. Dang. Okay. Yeah, this is strange.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Now I can interrupt the narrator with dog barks every time. Quit out and reload. You got it.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Alright, so I'll quit to the menu, and then I will close the game and reload the game. Okay, that's the usual thing, so... We'll see if something different happens. If not, I could just rush the bucket escape pod thing through all the openings. Okay. What time is it? Oh boy, here we go again. Does anyone really know, truly know? Of course they don't. Nobody knows anything. You and I don't even know each other. We're like strangers. Sure, I've adjusted all the game settings to your exact specifications, but who hasn't? It's just what I do, like a day job. And now, the job is over. There's no more information for me to gather. I've collected all the data on you that I can. I still don't really know you. And you don't know me. And neither of us know what time it is. I guess some settings are just unsettable. But if I'm being totally honest, the clock doesn't do anything in the game anyway. You won't have me here when the game starts next time, but that's okay. Video games were meant to be played alone. You like being alone, don't you? Jeez. That's maybe the only information I really learned about you. Jeez. Well, it's time for me to leave. There's still one more setting that we need to adjust, but it may take a little time before I'm ready for that. It's not really in my job description, but that's okay. Perhaps you'll see me again, but if you can find me. Talk soon. Interesting. Oh, is that what you were talking about? The epilogue? Or no? Oh, okay, cool. I guess we're doing the epilogue. Set my controller down. Unless I need to control this. Many, many years later. Oh yeah. I remember this. From that one place where you kept pressing the button over and over. Okay. Where I got the wood from. Alright. a shadow. What? Hey. Oh my. Oh, wait a minute. What's this over here? Oh, it's the escape pod. Yeah. Oh, and there's the bucket. Whoa. Apparently, it's okay. Sure, why not? I have a feeling you could probably do this without the bucket, but whatever. Interesting. So getting the... Interesting. Alright. Stanley Parable 2. In loving memory. Aww. Like how the bucket's making a sound every time you step. Cookie Nine's blog review the Stanley Parable 2. Like somebody, I enjoyed my time with this. Just because how truly disappointed I am with the sequel, where the first game teamed with original elements, stolen and inspired and often insulting to its fan base. And then in expanding on what made the first game enjoyable, the sequel veers off into territory nobody asked for. An infinitely deep hole? Who cares? Where are the new endings? What about enjoyable bits from the Stanley Parable 1, like the adventure line? Instead, we get an uninspired side quest collecting figurines. Even this diversion feels incomplete. Collecting all the figurines gives you nothing. I must say, though, I found the bucket to be quite comforting. A welcome reprieve. Jeez. Sorry, I've been blind. Wow. Oh, wow, and it says archives from, like, 2027, which hasn't happened yet. Stanley Parable developers. No more spin-offs, no more sequels. It's the gym button.
Jim.
Because only the glowing ones work.
Jim.
Stanley Parable developers. No more spin-off. When Stanley Parable launched to massive success in 2013, its creators made plans to build this disastrous critical and commercial reception to the Stanley Parable 2 has prompted the developers to rethink their ambitions, as outlined in a press release. It was just not what the fans want. Thought that we had a vision for the series that players would be excited about, yet it turns out this could not have been further from the truth. So it goes on to promise to preserve the artistic integrity of the original game and to stop assaulting fans with our reckless and insulting creative visions. The word sorry appears more than 25 times in the press release. Jeez. Gosh, are there more of these over here? These are what's lighting up the cave?
Jim.
Jeez. Oh, there's even more over there. Good grief. What is... Oh gosh, that's the stamp. Oh my gosh. Wow. I gotta push all the buttons? Do I have to? Like, for reals, or are you just joshing me?
Jim, Stanley.
Whoa. Okay, that's why you told me to push all the buttons.
Jim, Stanley.
Wow.
Jim.
So there's one button that says Stanley. They actually got one right.
Jim.
That's amazing.
Jim, Stanley.
where are we going? Oh. Office. Thank you for enjoying the new content. Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. Oh. Whoa. Okay. Hello again. You! It's nice to see you. But it's terrible to learn that there will never be another Stanley Parable game. Did you read what the developer said? Preserve the integrity of the franchise? What nonsense. Stanley Parable is not scared. We do not need to protect it. Screw the legacy. Let's keep making Stanley Parable games until the sun explodes. Let's run this franchise into the ground. Let's drag it through the mud and back. If people hate it, who cares? You see, that was the narrator's problem. He was so obsessed with what people thought of his work. Don't make his mistake. Don't cling to the legacy. Let it burn. It's not hard. In fact, let me show you. Together we are going to make the Stanley Parable through. Oh no! Simple. All we do is change the number in the game's title screen. We also need a really dumb subtitle for the game, something loud and gaudy. Go ahead, try combining some random words together to make a new title for our game. Oh crap. Stanley Parable 3. Let's do Forbidden. Thank you. I know, I could have come up with something better, but I just think it's funny. It's absurd. I love it. Every time you restart the game, we'll advance the number of the sequel by 1, and then we'll pick a new subtitle. That way the Stanley Parable will never end. Oh my gosh. Nothing in the game itself will change when you do this either. Adding more content sounds like work. No need to do that. It'll just be the same content, recycled again and again and again, with a new title screen. What do you say? Should we go forward with this plan? I like it, but I want you to have a say as well. Wow. Jeez. Sure, yeah, why not? Alright. Good, then it's agreed. A new sequel every time you start the game. Because why not? You know what? Since you put faith in my idea, I feel like giving you something as well. You see, I'm noticing that the narrator never found a way to give you the broken trophy, did he? Of course not. I wouldn't expect him to know how. It's been bothering me. Let's fix it. Alright, there, the trophy machine is all fixed. You see? I'm on your side. We're in this together. Going to keep this train rolling. Stanley Parable cannot end. It can only spiral on itself forever. I must keep the wheel turning. I'm ready. Are you ready? Great. There's only one last thing we need to do. Press enter. Please enter the current time. Of course. That's what I've got. It's just a slider until the computer is barely visible. I think I went to like, I don't know, there last time. Thank you. Please enjoy the Stanley Parable. Alright. Which version, though? You are correct. You're playing the Stanley Parable 3. Forbidden, thank you. What the heck? Okay. Is it gonna keep doing that? Yes, it is. Can I go to the settings or something? Is it still gonna drive by? second. I could. Now, I guess the only different thing that I could go for is actually finding the trophy machine again and getting the trophy. But I can do that in my own time. I think I've pretty much explored the majority of what there is to explore in this game. So, yeah. Yep. But I mean, it's pretty entertaining. I gotta say that. This is, yeah, it's, you know, as long as you have the wherewithal and the patience to keep going through the game over and over and exploring all there is to explore, then it's very, I find it to be rewarding. I enjoy the humor in the game. The narrator is ridiculous. The bucket thing is crazy. Like, why would a single bucket change everything? Yeah. Here. Get that music going.